Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus, live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Good news rarely comes in the middle of the night. Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare. How serious is it? What hospital is she going to? Who should I call? Can I speak to the doctor? What's her roommate's number? What can I do?
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources customized to your student's campus and local community. Securely linked accounts to share vital data between family members. Digital consent form allowing family to speak with medical staff. Insurance card upload, instantly accessible when you need it. Built-in urgent alert button that notifies linked contacts to send help. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you gotta bet. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Thursday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay's going to join us at noon today, so we're excited about that. But we got a lot going on this second segment. We got a lot going on all show today. You're listening to The Inside Drive on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, and along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, listen, share, comment, like, all that good stuff on all of our social channels. That's Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida if you're not already following. And if you are, we appreciate you very much. Of course, as Jay always says, you can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also go to ESPNPC.com. And of course, go follow our TikTok page if you got TikTok, Inside.Drive. Also, don't forget, we've got coming up again today a lot of double winners going on here on the 7-year send-off, because that's one of the beautiful things about this huge contest we are doing for our 7-year anniversary here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We started it Monday of this week, but you already did it today, 7:40 on the Coach James Hale Show, 12:40 right here on the Inside Drive, and 5:40 on the afternoon Underdogs. We're going to try to send you guys up to Atlanta. Automatically, you'll qualify for a prize. Today's prize is going to be a Mountain Dew bag, a Magic jersey, and Swampy Jack's $10 gift card.
Yeah, man, that Magic jersey is actually a Shaq jersey.
Hot damn.
Yeah, we got a few of those extra from
The trip?
Yeah, from the trip, we've still got some people that I need to be reaching out to today to hook them up with their jersey from when they went down there to that game.
Sweet. So we got some more of those. So, hey, get you a Magic jersey. Get you a Shaquille O'Neal jersey.
Yes, sir.
That's some good stuff. All you got to do is give us a call when you hear the cue to call. That's 850-215-6290. Like I said, you'll automatically be winning this prize right there.
That's the cue to call.
That's the cue to call. If you hear that anytime, pick up your phone and give us a call.
Not anytime. At the 12:40 time.
Well, anytime you hear that when it's supposed to be heard, that just gives you, if you're running around and you hear it, boom, just pick up your phone and make a call. This 7-year send-off is you're going to go see the Braves play the Toronto Blue Jays on Saturday, September 7th. Hopefully they're deep in the playoff race at that point. It's going to include a hotel, spending cash, food and beverage at the game, as well as some amazing seats there in the Xfinity Club. Again, we've already had multiple winners so far, so all you got to do is listen here to ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate PCB Hobby, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, as well as Home 2 Suites for sponsoring the 7-year send-off to send you guys up there to watch our Atlanta Braves. David, how you doing on this beautiful Thursday?
Wonderful, my man. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm amped up.
We're ready today.
Yeah, we ready for all y'all. We got practice starting tonight. A lot of fun stuff going on, and Jay will be with us for a little bit. And tomorrow we got a big show. I got lots of guests lined up. I know Jay won't be able to be here as his first junior camp will be wrapping up. He's got some award ceremonies going on.
What are we gonna do for our picks?
Oh, we're gonna do it today.
Oh, nice. Is it college baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna try to throw Belmont in there. We'll have Alan Sandage. The final leg of the Triple Crown.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Well, there's 8, and I didn't want to leave one of them out. So, because I wanted to get your 2 NASCAR in, because I felt bad last week. Denny Hamlin and all that. Now, but we'll get all our picks in.
You don't got to feel bad. You can just add it in there.
That's true. We could. What's another point for you? You've already got such a huge lead anyway. What does it really matter? Before we really dive into everything today, I did want to mention today is June 6th, and we all know what that is. That is D-Day. That was the D-Day operation on June 6th in 1944. Brought together the land, air, and sea forces of the Allied armies in what became known as the largest amphibious invasion in military history.
Not an alligator.
That's true, which is two completely reptiles, amphibians, two completely different things.
You can call them herps.
There you go. Got to watch out for it, though. The operation, given the code name Overlord, delivered 5 naval assault divisions to the beaches of Normandy, France. The beaches were given the code names Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. The invasion force included 7,000 ships and landing craft manned by over 195,000 naval personnel from 8 allied countries. Almost 133,000 troops from the United States and British Commonwealth and their allies landed on D-Day. Casualties from those countries during the landing numbered 10,300. By June 30th, over 850,000 men, 848,000 vehicles, and 570,000 tons of supplies had landed on the Normandy shores. Fighting by these brave soldiers and airmen of the Allied forces on the Western Front and the Russian forces on the Eastern Front led to the defeat of the German Nazi forces on May 7th, 1945. German General Alfred Jodl signed an unconditional surrender at Reims in France. So I just wanted to mention that today. It is D-Day, and we can never forget the sacrifices that the men made that day, basically to liberate the Western Front there in Eastern. So, that kind of led to a lot of freedoms, and, it's just one of those things. We can never forget what people have done, so we can be here today because, a lot of those, we're starting to get to that time now where that was, that was 80 years ago now. Yeah. So, the people that were involved in that, there's not a whole lot of them left, and we can't forget. We can never forget, and, appreciate what they did on D-Day.
We wouldn't be able to be doing this without that.
100%.
Or practicing football tonight.
That's true. No doubt.
Or signing NIL deals in high school.
There you go. We just keep going with that if you want to. But again, just wanted to make sure everybody recognized today is D-Day, and it is certainly a day that we can never forget there. That is for sure. I did got to mention, I know a lot of y'all fish. I didn't grow up saltwater fishing. Did a lot of freshwater fishing, and I had an exciting moment doing my some rounds of chemo this week. So kind of trying to stay focused on kind of keeping my mind off things, and went out and did some fishing just on the other side of our bayou yesterday, and caught my first redfish. I've been trying to do it for seems like 2 years now, and just stuck at it. And Liam and I were probably both as shocked because he's always like, "You're never gonna catch one." He's like, "You keep claiming you're gonna catch
like
one."
The little devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, he's like, you're not going to do it. You're not going to. No, you didn't. And I'm glad he was out there because if I did, and he wouldn't believe me.
Well, the proof was in the pudding,
That's
right?
true. That's true. And I handed him the phone, and I was trying to get that, stereotypical redfish pick, but he had a little bit of a tough time. But no, it was exciting, and I appreciate everyone who's kind of helped give me some tips, and just got to stick to it and figure it out.
So now, what's the next fish on the old bucket list, the checklist, if you will? So you've got the speckled trout,
got the speckled trout, got the redfish, probably a gator trout, which is just a specific length trout, right? Yeah. And then I would have to go with somebody to figure that out, but I would love to catch a tarpon. That's
there you go.
And they're running out there right now, and I know a lot of guides that are like, you need to come on out, and we'll get there.
Oh, you're gonna get you a tarpon now, brother.
We'll get there, but it's exciting.
It would be awesome to catch one on the yak and just let them pull you around.
Oh yeah, I'd be out there. I'd be out there for a while. It's just crazy how close they run to the beach.
Yeah,
it just running in those channels, and the schools are massive. And it's I don't know. I just really have dove into the saltwater fishing kind of thing. It's something that through everything that's going on, that kind of takes my mind off stuff and lets me get out there, and I get to spend time with Liam out there as well. So
definitely therapeutic.
Yeah, therapeutic, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Want to mention a few other things. Bree Clark was named Bay County Softball Player of the Year for the Lady Marlins softball team. She broke the school record by recording 294 strikeouts on the way to a 17-3 record. So congratulations to Bree Clark. She was named the Bay County Softball Player of the Year. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing her at the next level on TV.
Oh, no doubt, man, and I can't wait for it. Yeah, where did Skylar Wallace play ball at?
I think somewhere in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, because that's where that family is. They're from Georgia, kind of North Georgia area.
I didn't know if she was maybe from this area, but we've got a lot of talent here in this area at the high school softball level. So hopefully Bree Clark can get there to D1, and she's still got another year though, right?
Yeah, she's a junior. Yep, so she's got one more year. Yeah,
after
Arnold's this year,
looking good.
Yep,
next year.
Absolutely. This one is non-sports related, but if you're kind of a space and NASA nut like I am, today actually it's already happened. The launch of they're sending NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are on their way as we speak to the International Space Station after Boeing's Starliner spacecraft lifted off from Cape Canaveral at 9:52 a.m. Central Time yesterday. And then why I wanted to mention this today is because this is Starliner's first flight crew and a key milestone in certifying Starliner for regular missions to and from the space station. Starliner is scheduled to dock here in about 5 minutes at the International Space Station. If you want to, you can go to NASA's YouTube account and watch that docking live, but it's literally happening. They're up there in outer space getting ready to dock as we speak here, David Hayes.
There we go.
And maybe this is they're trying to certify this, so, maybe there's an opportunity, not for us, of course, for the elites that have lots of money, to go make trips up to the space station and see outer space. So very few people have been able to do that, but I think we're getting closer and closer to that being more of a regular and public thing. That is for sure. Starliner softball.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Just looks like they're chilling in a control room there, Mission Control Center.
Nice.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the audio is key when it comes to that kind of stuff because they go back and forth, and it's a huge team that's got to make all that stuff happen. That's for sure. I don't know.
The audio up right now.
Oh, there you go.
We can just let it run till Jay gets
there
here.
There we go.
But no, it's cool. I mean, it's just there's so much more besides what we see every day, and it's kind of cool to dive into some of that stuff. And that's just stuff 30, 40 years ago, you never really be able to see live like we can now, which is pretty cool. Did you watch the softball? Were you?
Yes, actually, I didn't watch it very heavily after about the first couple of innings.
Yeah.
I had it on the TV though.
Yes, yeah.
Oklahoma, man, they're so hard to stop, bro. And then Maxwell, the pitcher, did a great job.
Unbelievable.
Well. I don't believe I saw a mask on her. It's wild.
When I thought she wore a mask the last game because she played 2 days ago against Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I believe me and Liam were like, she's not wearing a mask this time?
43 feet away, bro.
That could be not pretty, that's for sure. But yeah, Oklahoma got out to a 2-1 lead early in the game, but Texas just had no answer for the pitching there. And, kudos to Florida for what they were able to kind of do to Oklahoma. And, 1-run walk-off they were that close, but I think Oklahoma's probably well on their way now to a fourth consecutive national championship. They added 3 runs in the third to go up 5-1, then added another one in the fifth, another one in the sixth. Texas tried to rally a little bit, scoring 2 runs there in the bottom of the sixth, but Oklahoma added 1 more run in the top of the seventh and then closed out the game to win the first game of the best out of 3 series 8-3. That game will be tonight as well, with Oklahoma with a chance to win back-to-back national championships.
Well, let's just hope Texas gets it done tonight, and
I'd love to see another
game 3. Yeah,
absolutely. That'll be on ESPN, 7 o'clock Central Time. Here, coverage will start, and your first pitch will probably be shortly after that. Texas wins. They'll play again one more time Friday night, and then your College World Series will come to an end. But the good news is we have baseball that'll pick right up where they left off starting Friday night. We're going to pick all those games later on today when Jay gets here. And then last but not least, here in this first segment, what did you think about the Skeens-Ohtani matchup last night?
I actually did see that. It
was kind of both sides of the coin.
First, let's go to the daggone Pittsburgh Pirates, who last night beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
They beat them, 10-6, I believe was the final.
Yeah, I did what is that, runs, RBIs, hits, parlay. I did 4 of them, and the only one that didn't get it was Mookie Betts.
Oh, tough.
It was over 1.5. I had Shohei, Freeman, a player on the Pirates, I can't remember the name, Ryan Reynolds. They all got over it, and then Mookie Betts just had 1 hit, and that was it. So I was like, it was one of those bonus kickback bets, though, so we'll see what I can do with that. But yeah,
it's one of those things, too. Like, Mookie Betts is the last one that you expect to fail you on.
Exactly. You always push for the one more. I'll do 3 legs. You know what? I'll do 4 legs.
And next thing you know, it turns into a 15-leg parlay.
Yeah.
You hit 14 and only miss one of them. That's wow.
Never happened to me. I know a few people that it's happened to, and I'm glad it hasn't, because that would just be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It is heartbreaking, but it also depends on how much heartbreaking money you're losing.
Yeah,
right?
$1. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Skeens-Ohtani matchup, power on power, and how about it for the kid, bro? Just 3, what did he throw? 38
pitches, 99 or a better.
That's insane,
I know.
This kid is the real legitimate deal.
That's why he was the number 1 overall pick.
And Pittsburgh's not far off. I think that you're looking kind of at like the Baltimore Orioles 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Not necessarily they're making waves, but not settling in. So, great for the kid, though, to strike out Ohtani on it was
3 consecutive pitches over 100 miles an hour. But
nasty.
What I think Shohei is so good as a hitter at is I think that first at bat gave him the judgment of the speed.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next at bat he faces him. What does he do?
I don't know.
Hits a dinger.
Oh, did he go yard on
Hits it out of the park. So it was kind of cool because you had the 3-pitch strikeout and then you had the home run, like you said, power on power. But I also think, too, they said something about it was the first time the Pirates had been favored in a game. I think they were minus 115 and the Dodgers were minus 105.
Which is kind of wild that they're favored in that game. Even if Skeens is on the mound, Skeens is going 5 and 6 innings, and the Pirates bullpen isn't, nothing to be afraid of necessarily.
Yeah, and I think he's went, 22 innings with 38 strikeouts. Close. I know he's had 38 strikeouts in 5 appearances, and I think it's 22 innings, but kid can throw some heat.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's definitely worth that number 1 overall pick. Will it sustain? We will see, but it's good for the Pirates, and they're bringing up Henry Davis soon, who was their number 1 pick, I believe, in 2021. So an interesting team for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a winnable division as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because we picked all of our division winners to start the year, and things have kind of changed a little bit. That's for sure, and that's why nothing's ever guaranteed in
sports.
I
think Jay Bird picked them Pirates, if I'm not mistaken.
I can pull it up right here.
I do believe he did because I remember thinking,
yes, the NL Central, Jay Henley, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Because I think I got the Cubbies, and you either got the Cardinals or the Brewers.
I went with the Reds.
Reds.
Yes, I went with the Reds.
Hey, they're a team that can still. I mean, really, the NL Central is still all the way up for grabs. I don't think that there's a team that's kind of out of that one just yet.
Yeah.
The AL Central. I mean, both Central divisions are interesting because you expect them to be the weaker divisions in both the American and the National League. And, you know, the Central's got some really good teams in the Guardians, the Royals, and you got to watch out for those Twins. And who knows about how the Tigers, like if they can get streaky. And then in the NL Central right now, those teams, I mean, really across baseball, all the teams are jumbled up. If your name's not the White Sox or the Rockies or the Marlins. I mean, even the Marlins are a team that...
You can throw the Mets in there, too.
Yeah, the Mets are going to blow it up. But, I mean, that's, you know, you just love to see that as a baseball fan.
Poor Mets.
Or at least a Braves fan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, I mean, we're a little over a third of the way through the season, and...
Yeah,
so
we're getting. I mean, you know, in a month's time, it's going to be time for the All-Star break. So,
absolutely.
And it's already time for All-Star voting. So, Braves fans, get your baseball fans, get your players in there, man. That's
out there. That's what it's all about. That's one of the cool things about the All-Star in sports is typically it's voted by the fans, which I think is how it should be, or by the players. I think it. I don't think it should be writers or anything like that. I think it should be some form of either fan or players or something like that. Yeah, my opinion. Anyway.
So for baseball, I believe it's you have these first rounds of votings, and that kind of like slims it down.
Gotcha.
So you'll get some players who, like the other year, I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year prior. Fernando Tatis Jr. wasn't even playing and was leading the All-Star vote.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, yeah, things like that. That's why fans.
That's why you can't have it full on.
Exactly,
yeah.
But to give them a vote in this, I mean, we are the reason that these games are being played. So.
Definitely. Without fans, you don't have sports. No doubt about it. I watched we talked about it off the air yesterday, but I watched the E60 the 30 for 30. I'm just here for the riot a couple nights ago when it came. I watched that one kind of live, maybe 30 minutes behind, and that was kind of crazy. And then they also had the new E60 No Easy Win that came out right behind it, and they were kind of connected, but the stories were completely different. And I watched that No Easy Win last night, and I think you said you watched that one.
I watched a good chunk of it before I fell asleep. Yeah,
and it's just, you know, as much as I hate the Rangers and you know a lot of people don't like the Yankees and all that, there's just something about New York sports. And like, you know, having that family with the gentleman that got shot and was paralyzed and how he kind of became a part of the New York Rangers, and you know they hadn't had a Stanley Cup final, and I think since 1940, and they brought over Mark Messier from the Oilers, and they thought it was going to end a couple years. They had some heartbreak, and then 94, and of course, you know, being a New Jersey Devils fan, that was also Marty Brodeurs' first year, and they took that to a Game 7, and of course Mateau, and that's why I texted you last night. I was like, I hate that name. I hear that name in my head, and it was such a crazy goal too, because it was the wraparound goal, and it got between the pads of Marty and sent the Rangers on, and then they beat the Vancouver Canucks, and that's when the Canucks fans first rioted in Vancouver. And then flash forward to 2011, that's what the second one is. I'm just here for the riot is talking about when they made it to Game 7 and then lost again, and then they rioted again.
So there was a riot in 84, 94, and then a riot in 2011.
Yeah. So it's much more about the stories of the people that were involved in the riot, and kind of how it ruined their lives, because it was really the first 2011 social media, camera phones were really rocking and rolling at that point. So now, people get attacked on. So and it was just, it's an interesting story.
Parts that I saw about it was at the very end, and they've got like the people's face kind of covered up, just showing their eyes or whatever. And they're talking about how they, wish that people wouldn't judge them on that
on one thing. Yeah. Which is, I think, what we should do overall as a society. But everybody takes an opportunity to I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
Pegboards, man. Everyone wants to be ahead of the other pegs on the pegboard, and if they can push someone down, then they'll do that.
We can all
not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. But it's out there. But we can all rise up together if we just support one another.
There we go, man. Just keep on.
That's too simple of a concept, that's for sure. But two great new documentaries there from ESPN, E60 and a 30 for 30. I just, you hear that sound of the and then it's going to be something good.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I didn't know when you texted me, Mateau, toe. I didn't know if maybe you had like
my toe. Yeah, I stubbed it.
my toe.
And I don't know if I spelled the name right, but it seemed right.
It worked for me.
E-A-U. But yeah, that was a tough one. But luckily, the next year, the Devils then won their first Stanley Cup after upsetting the Detroit Red Wings 4-0 in a sweep there in the Stanley Cup. Which
was an upset.
Yeah, the Red Wings were a huge favorite in '95.
Edstrom.
Yep. But also watching a lot because they showed a lot of hockey action in that no easy win, and I don't know. I just liked hockey back then so much more. Not that I don't like it now. It was just such a different game. Like, they used to just be able to beat the crap out of each other. Like,
and they still kind of do.
They still kind of do, but they get hooking. There's just so many more calls, and I don't know. It's just it's very physical now, but it was a whole nother ball game back then. And some of the names I remember, like Claude Lemieux and, Valerie Zalapukin, and it just all came right back to me. It was awesome. It was awesome. But we got to go. We ran a little long there on the first segment, but we'll be right back after this break. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Not have to go downtown. Not have to go across the bridge and fight with all the traffic. David Adamson Jewelry, Highway 77.
How many hours is the show? Hey, I mean, can we get to the point?
You asked him a question.
Really, I didn't know he was going to give a recital.
I'm not done yet either.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning, this is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. A mixture of some clouds and likely thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a wind out of the southwest around 14 miles per hour and the high of 85. Tonight, look for possible thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies with a temperature near 77. Tomorrow, a high around 87 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your safety and proper care of your boat in an emergency is crucial. When it comes to on-water assistance, response time is everything. And since 1996, in the Bay or on the Gulf, it's Sea-Tow. Sea-Tow's Coast Guard licensed captains are on the scene in an average of 1 hour or less. Sea-Tow gets members home or back to boating faster. Become a member today at seatow.com or call 850-234-2323.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
He'll be back soon, hopefully. If hopefully it doesn't stop for food on the way. You can wait 1 more hour and just do it after 1 there, Jay Henley. But you are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. David, from December 19th through January 20th, don't go anywhere.
Okay, I mean,
because if you are and that's what's crazy. If you are a football fan and like to watch football, whether it be college or NFL, we've got an unbelievable streak of football going on this winter. That is for sure. Previously, it had been mentioned the dates of the expanded. This is the first time we're doing a 12-team playoff. Everything's new this year. Conference realignment, 12-team playoffs. Nick Saban's not coaching football anymore. The dates for the 12-team playoffs were announced in May, but gate times and broadcast information had not been previously released. Well, that all changed yesterday when the College Football Playoff released the schedule, including the kickoff times and broadcast information for the expanded 12-team 2024-25 playoff. The first 3 rounds of the 2024-25 playoff will take place between December 20th and January 10th, with events broadcasted on ABC, ESPN, and TNT Sports. The national championship in Atlanta will be shown on ESPN ESPN on Monday, January 20th. 2 weeks later than it normally is. Like I said, they were announced earlier, but the first round will begin with an 8 p.m. Eastern Time matchup on Friday, December 20th, followed by a Saturday triple header of games taking place at noon, 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The playoff quarterfinals will take place in the middle of the following week with the Fiesta Bowl Tuesday, December 31st at 7:30 Eastern Time. That will be followed by the New Year's Day triple header featuring the Peach Bowl at 1, Rose Bowl at 5, and then the Sugar Bowl with the nightcap at 8:45. Again, all these times are Eastern Time. The semifinals will take place the week after the Orange Bowl, Thursday, January 9th at 7:30 p.m., followed by the Cotton Bowl the next day on Friday. That would be January 10th at 7:30 p.m. This schedule, combined with the NFL schedule, will make for a packed month of football. As I mentioned, that starts with the Browns and the Bengals on, I keep saying January, December 19th, again, followed by those two back-to-back college football playoff round 1 matchups. And then you got on the 21st, the Texans at the Chiefs, which is going to be a great football game, as well as the Steelers and the Ravens, 2 fantastic games there. And then obviously on Sunday, you've got 12 NFL games. That's December 22nd. Then you've got Saints at Packers on the 23rd. You got a day off for Christmas Eve, so get all your fun stuff in there. Followed by the Chiefs at the Steelers and the Ravens at the Texans. Just a little flip-flop there from one week to the other. You got the same 4 teams playing, just different matchups. Again, on Christmas Day, you got the Chiefs at the Steelers and the Ravens at the Texans. The day after Christmas, you got the Seahawks at the Bears, and then you've got the 27th and the 28th. You get off, so if you're going to do something fun, go do it those 2 days. And then on the 29th, you've got 12 NFL games as well. Then Monday Night Football on the 30th of December. You got the Lions at the 49ers. Little NFC Championship rematch there. That'll be a fun game. And then, of course, December 31st and January 1st, as we always do, you've got the college football playoff quarterfinals. Then you got a 3-day break there, and then it's followed by 16 NFL games on January 5th. And as I mentioned earlier, you've got the college football semifinals January 9th and 10th. Then we slide right into the Super Wild Card round on the 11th through the 13th of January. Then you get some days off, about a week, and then it's followed by the divisional round, and then the cap after the 18th and the 19th divisional round games is the 2024 what would be the 2024 season national championship on Monday, January 20th.
I'm a little disappointed in college football.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would have liked to see them get a game on Sunday here just because they would have had a game on every single day of the week. Because you got the Monday National Championship, you've got games on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. Just missing Sunday, man.
That's it. But
it is going to be interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans, that's week 16 of the NFL.
Yeah.
So we're talking about playoff positions being at a all-time premium right there. And then you're also going to be looking at the inaugural first round of the college football playoff, and what makes that even more so interesting is that these are going to be on teams.
Campus,
on campus there. So really cool stuff. It's this is the time of the year to go ahead and be getting ready to have multiple TVs up, man. Because if you don't got that, you're going to be flipping back and forth, and you're going to miss some of the action. Even if you have multiple TVs, trust me, as a guy who keeps his eye on 3 TVs, you miss a ton of the action either way.
You can only focus one area. Now, if you somehow figure out a way to look 2 different directions with 2 different eyes and actually know what's going on, then that's pretty cool.
There you go. You just got to have your left ear and left eye focused on the left TV, right ear and right eye on the right TV, and then you just have the sound loud enough up on the middle TV that it kind of drags your attention away if anything exciting. See, that's how I've kind of trained myself. Is like
gauge it by the announcers.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have the sound going, and then that's where stay up to date. And also Sunday Ticket. Red Zone. Rather.
Red Zone, yeah.
Having that helps. Even if you miss anything, they show you every touchdown. Like if you've ever watched the whole day of Sunday Ticket, at the end of it, they show you every touchdown that happened that day. So you're in luck, man. And also one of the things I got last year was, and I probably need to go ahead and get rid of that subscription so maybe I can get it at another deal somehow. But NFL Plus last year was really cool because you could go back and you could watch the condensed version.
Yeah, in the short,
watch a game in 30 minutes and get you some of those highlights and whatnot. So yeah, let's man, really looking forward to it. But I don't want to move too fast because we're right here in the middle of baseball season, man.
Absolutely. We got it. And really, I mean, we're only 2 months away from, close to 2 months away from the start of college football.
And then once that happens, man, like there's just something happens to time. I don't know if this happens to non-sports fans, but for us sports fans, when football happens, it's like time it moves in fast forward.
Oh, and it just goes so fast.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind.
Yep, it is like drinking from the fire hose, as they say. But it's going to be interesting to see, a college football game in late December at a university.
Yeah.
Because they're out. They're on break. It's usually that first or second week in December that everybody's out. I mean, not that that's going to stop attendance because that's just not how it works. But it's going to be kind of crazy to see we have bowl games and all that. It's going to be interesting to see how all the bowl games fit into this as well. Maybe they'll have a Sunday bowl game on there and you'll have another college game. But to see games on December 20th and 21st on campus, I think it'll be pretty cool.
Well, and then another thing, I know that, at the end of the day, at the end and the beginning of the day, these guys are student athletes, and that's the time of the year, right, where finals are coming up, all of that good stuff. So it makes it more difficult on them because they have a lot more focus going into other areas. But, man, January 20th, like, we get college football till the third week in January now. That's the day before my birthday, man. Like,
they did it just for you.
Present.
They did it just for you.
And I think it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day that day as well.
Man.
So that's going to be
make it all happen.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it.
That'll be good stuff. I mean, you're going to have, it's so different than it's ever been. And I know why they do it. It's all about money. And, they're making billions of dollars through these TV contracts and deals. But you know what? As a fan, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to have, this has never happened before where you're going to be watching meaningful, all college football games, in my opinion.
I 100% know what you mean, though.
But playoff college football games going on at the same time as what I would consider playoff football, because when you're in week 16, week 17, week 18, all right, it may not be your last time playing football on Sunday, but it matters. It matters a ton, especially in jockeying for position, because for certain teams, having that number one seed could be conducive, where for some other teams, it might not be the best thing to have the number one seed and get that bye week.
I.e. the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean, and it's a good point because, the bowl games, all football games matter, but with the opt-outs and everything that's gone on the last few years, really there was 2 games in that quote-unquote bowl season that I'm using the term mattered very loosely. And that was the 2 semifinal games and then your national championship. Well, now you've got way more than that matter for these teams that have a shot. And, do you think we'll see a team in this first college football playoff that, if it was just a 4-team playoff, they clearly wouldn't have been in, but maybe steal a game that they shouldn't have? Or do you think all the, favorites are going to win? And really, what do the 12 teams look like? They're going to probably be 12 really good football teams.
That's the thing, to be able to tell from this point where we're at right now, it's impossible, because a team like Ole Miss, a team like Texas, I think the more interesting questions to me is how many teams do each conference get in? Like, is the ACC going to be able to get 2 in? Like, will the Big 12 get 2 in outside of their conference champion? How many does the Big 10 conference have compared to the SEC? Who the G5 school is? And that's so. The way that jockeying plays out, we're going to have to see how these teams progress through the season. And then, all right, who's the SEC champion? Is it Georgia? Is it Texas? Could it be Ole Miss? Does Alabama stay on top? I highly doubt it, but who knows? Can LSU come out of left field with with Nussmeier being the quarterback? Does Texas A&M bounce back with Elko? So there's so many storylines to watch here.
Crazy.
And if you get a team in like Ole Miss, who's not the SEC champion, but they've got talent there. Are they replacing? Are they getting closer to where the 5 stars are being on the depth chart being replaced by 4 stars and no longer 3 stars? If that's the case, then Ole Miss is going to be deeper and they'll be able to play better with you the further you get along into ball games. So a team like Ole Miss and Texas, then I go to the Big Ten, Michigan and Ohio State, who wins that game, because really the team who loses that game could wreak some havoc in the playoffs. So yes, I think that you could get some upsets, but I don't think that there'll be those upsets. It's like, man, I can't believe this happened, but you never know, man. I think that there's going to be a huge advantage to the higher seeds in the first round with those games being on campus because it might be the most wildest game that you've ever seen on that campus.
I mean, you've never had a college football playoff game on a campus of a university before.
Do some teams like who are sitting there, like say they know they're in the playoff, and it's conference championship week, do you
lose the conference championship to get a home game?
Yeah. I mean, there's teams that's fully capable of that, right?
I would think, but
do you want the week off? I mean, do you? Do you
want the win already into the next round? I think I would always take the win over that.
100%.
It would be a hell of a time for your university, and you'd make a ton of money as well, hosting that game. So, but only time
the AD walks up, like president walks up to the AD. AD goes to the coach like, "You better not win this game.
I need you to snap this and run through the back of the end zone."
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, what? Jimmy Garoppolo's playing college football again? There was another guy on the Lions, too.
Dan Orlovsky.
Yes, Dan. God, that guy.
Some of the Lions players, former Lions players, I can't remember who exactly it was. I know Calvin Johnson was a part of it. They were talking about it. And just one of the guys, I think it might have been Nate Burleson, walked off the sideline and was just smiling like, you're not going to believe what he just did, man. He just walked out the back of the end zone.
And I could see how it happens, but at the same time, like, you I don't know. I can't say I would know, but that's just one of those wild things. Like, and that's, it gets tough when you're condensed down there. And, it's the most Jimmy Garoppolo thing to ever happen when that happened. And the fact is, on that same play, he threw a pick six. So it was actually less of a penalty, so to speak, for the team than if it would have played just would have happened. So, but who knows? Anyway, it's going to be exciting when college football season rolls around. In the next segment, we're going to dive into some of the harder college football schedules coming up this season, and you may or may not be surprised who is number one on that. But real quick, while we got a couple minutes left in this segment, it looks like a little surprise Lakers coach action is going to happen. Kind of came out of left field, but LeBron's been very vocal about how much he likes him. Is Bronny going to come to the Lakers? I still think that would be a huge mistake, but it looks like Dan Hurley is very much likened to that Lakers head coaching job, and maybe make the move from UConn to the NBA.
I think this is just headline grabbing. I don't think Dan Hurley's going to go to the Lakers. Is there interest being said from the Dan Hurley camp?
I don't know about the Dan Hurley camp, but
the Lakers are going to grab headlines from like if they believe that they're interested in anyone, there's going to be headlines there. But Dan Hurley was pretty adamant, which means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, people
that he wasn't going to be leaving Connecticut, and I just don't know if that's. I mean, Dan Hurley is a guy who's gotten a lot out of his guys at the collegiate level.
But that's college.
To a place, right. Well, and not just that, you're coming to the NBA with a roster that's got LeBron James on it, who's been notorious for kind of running the show. Do you want to be a coach who's ran the show and has proven back-to-back years now what team you can put out there and that the respect that your guys get from you and that you give to them, and then go and you're pretty much told what to do by LeBron, and if you don't like it, then you're going to be out the first year. I just don't think that a first-year coach should be going to LA under LeBron unless, again, even LeBron says, well, I'm going to be hands-off. You've done it enough times now for us to see the proof in the pudding, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and it could just be complete farcities, but, it is the Lakers. Being part of the legacy of the Los Angeles Lakers and saying your name as a head coach on there.
Just yesterday, though, it was J.J. Redick is the guy. I mean, and they've been talking about J.J. Redick for a while, right? But it's they're eyeing J.J. Redick for a long time to be a Pat Riley type coach there for the Lakers. I mean, okay, well, when you guys make a decision, then we'll see. But I think that this is, I don't think Dan Hurley is going to take that job.
I like it. We'll see what happens, that's for sure. And it continues to be the saga of the Lakers. They're old. Who are they going to bring in? They're going to win a championship anytime soon. When's LeBron going to retire? Is Bronny going to go to the NBA? I think he shouldn't, because if he goes, he's just not.
Bronny?
Yeah, Bronny.
It's official now, though, because he's put himself into the draft, and I'm pretty sure that now.
Because originally when he went into the draft, he was still eligible to return, right?
Yeah, but I think that something I read.
Yeah.
He's like for sure going into the NBA draft.
I just, I don't know a whole ton about basketball, but I just, based on, what happened at USC 1 year and obviously had the heart issues and
is he gonna go into the NBA and be, he's always gonna be compared to his dad, and is he gonna fall flat on his face and, that just kind of fizzle out? I would love to see him go to a team. I don't think it'll happen, but I would love to see him go to a team where his dad's not on the squad, because if he does end up making that starting rotation or is a sixth or even seventh man, it makes that matchup very intriguing, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Versus Bron.
That would be fantastic. No doubt about it. But I think the Lakers have they're talking about maybe in the second round or something like that. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But we got to go ahead and take a quick break. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay, if you're listening, get your butt here. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
I hate to say it, but Oklahoma, people hate dynasties. You win too much and people get sick of it. They're going for their fourth straight national title. If you win 4 straight titles, people aren't going to like you that much anymore.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-932-1176. 800-932-1176. 800-932-1176. That's 800-932-1176.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. A little less than an hour, you'll have an opportunity to get entered into the 7-year send-off here that we're doing from ESPN Northwest Florida. Dive into the details again here when we get to the top of the hour, but don't forget, coming up, going into the 12:40 segment, you'll hear the cue to call. Caller number 10 will get entered to win an automatic sweet prize, which includes a Shaquille O'Neal jersey today, which is pretty darn cool. And then, of course, you'll be entered to win the grand prize. We'll go over the details of that one more time at the top of the hour. But I wanted to mention real quick before we get into the hardest college football schedules, one thing we've talked about Miles Russell earlier this year or this spring. He was a back-to-back Korn Ferry Tour player. He was the youngest player to ever make the cut on the Korn Ferry Tour back in April at the Laycom Suncoast Classic. He tied for 20th in that tournament, becoming the youngest player since 1983 to finish in the top 25 in a Korn Ferry Tour event or PGA Tour event. Well, one of the cool things I found out recently was he was awarded one of the 4 sponsors exemptions to compete in the Rocket Mortgage Classic. 15-year-old Miles Russell is set to make his PGA Tour debut at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which begins later this month on June 27th at the Detroit Golf Club. Pretty cool to see a high school freshman from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. He's also the reigning American Junior Golf Association Player of the Year. He will join 16-year-olds Chris Kim and Blades Brown as teenagers to make their PGA Tour debut during the 2024 season. Russell was quoted saying, "I'm thankful to Rocket Mortgage for giving me an opportunity to make my PGA Tour debut," Russell said in a statement. "Ever since I first started playing golf, my dream has been to compete on the PGA Tour and test my game against the best players, and I'm looking forward to making most of that experience later this month." 15 years old, and you're making, I mean, I know there's been a lot of teenagers that made their PGA Tour debut, but to be 15 years old, done what you've done, I mean, how good are these kids coming up nowadays? It's just pretty crazy stuff to see, but kudos to Miles Russell and the other teenagers that have been playing on the or getting the chance to play on the PGA Tour this year. Is pretty cool, and it just seems like pressure bothers these kids less and less and less. I know we're going to be talking to Brad Law, the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network at 12:20. We're going to be talking a lot about what happened with the national championship, and then he hosted a luncheon for Hugh Freeze on Tuesday, kind of the state of the Auburn football program. Excited to talk to him about that as well. But current quick update before we dive into these hardest schedules. We've got Eric Cole, who is 4 under par through 15 holes, followed by Adam Hadwin at 3, Nick Dunlap, Emmanuel Grillo, Xander Schauffele, and Ludwig Aubert are all -2. Some of them are some of them are done. Some of them are on their back nine. Some of them are a few holes through. So we'll kind of keep you updated the next couple days on the Memorial Tournament going on over there at Muirfield Village. Up there over in Dublin, Ohio. But pretty cool stuff to see Miles Russell get an opportunity to play in a PGA Tour event. I mean, 15 years old, freshman in high school. I don't remember when I was a freshman in high school. I was always on the young side because I didn't turn 18 until after I graduated high school. But the pressure. But maybe these, you've been doing it for so long. He's probably been doing it since he was a little kid, and maybe he relishes that opportunity instead of what I would feel, maybe because I'm older now, would be nervous about playing in that event.
He's got to have some nerves.
Got it, right?
So, man, even if you got nerves, I feel like you're still going to be. You're playing up against guys that you've watched play the game.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, to do as well as he did on the Korn Ferry Tour, which I've always said, the talent on the Korn Ferry Tour is just as good as the talent on the PGA Tour. There's just only so many spots on the PGA Tour, and he proved, with a top 20 finish and then another top 25 finish in back-to-back Korn Ferry tournaments, that he's got the nerves and the steel to make some stuff happen. I also want to talk too, when we talk to Brad Law, we'll get to that in a couple segments. Jackson Koivun, who won every award, freshman, all that stuff. I didn't realize he got an exemption to play in the Memorial Tournament.
Why is that?
I guess it was they have a few spots in there, and because he won, I think, we'll go over it with Brad, but like all 4 of the biggest awards you can win in college golf, He won those. So I think one of those included an opportunity to play in the Memorial, which is crazy because the Memorial is a signature event where it's a 69-player field to begin with.
He's getting money regardless, right? Or
no.
Money because he's an amateur.
Absolutely.
But you can, how about that in today's world, though, right?
NIL,
is he technically an amateur?
Yeah, well, and that's where the USGA amended their amateur status rules when NIL came out to say you could accept NIL and still maintain your amateur status as far as golf. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. He's only a freshman at Auburn. Obviously, he's probably going to keep playing at Auburn because he'll has a great shot with that PGA Tour U of ending up, if you finish first at PGA Tour U, you get your tour card.
Yeah.
So if he can go that route, obviously he can continue to play at Auburn and be on the tour, or it's like, hey, I had a great freshman year. We won the national championship. I won all these awards. Should I just turn pro before I go play in this signature event? But obviously he's an amateur playing in this event. But I mean, I wonder if that thought crossed, or I wonder he probably couldn't do it because it is an amateur exemption to get into it. So that whole.
But if he plays well, let's say he plays well in this event and, top 25, and it's like, then does he start thinking about, well, do I want to attack the pro way? He
would still get the eligibility then of finishing high if he does finish high in the signature event. Obviously, he can't win any money, but that could spring for him because the kid, he's won a national championship. He won the, Player of the Year. He won Jack Nicklaus Award. He won all these awards.
It was a huge reason why they won the
absolutely. And that third match, he just dominated and got that point on the board early. But anyway, so some cool stuff there. It's ironic. I was going to ask Keith, we haven't talked about Eric Cole pretty much all year, and that was one of the big guys he was on last year, and he's now leading the Memorial by 2. He's 5 under through 16 holes. But real quick, before we hit our top of the hour break, did want to just touch on real fast the college football's 10 hardest schedules in 2024 ranked. We'll go through it kind of quick and get to the top side of it, and kind of culminate with the most difficult schedule. But number 10 is UCLA, who is now in the Big Ten. They are at Hawaii versus Indiana, at LSU versus Oregon, at Penn State versus Minnesota, at Rutgers, at Nebraska versus Iowa, at Washington versus USC, and finish up the season versus Fresno State. This will be first-year Bruins coach Deshaun Foster steps in for Chip Kelly, facing what might be the toughest schedule in the Big Ten, including a tough early stretch that includes a road date there in the SEC. Tough stuff there for UCLA.
Who's their SEC game? It's hard for me if I.
No, it's okay. It's okay. LSU at LSU.
Oh, so
third game of the season.
UCLA's got, or LSU has UCLA and USC.
Yep.
Interesting, man. And, you know, since Lincoln Riley has been the coach over there at USC, they've been trying to get this game off the schedule. And then Fox stepped in because USC is going to be a member of the Big Ten, and their first game is going to be against LSU, and that's going to be on an SEC-dominated market. So Fox stepped in and wanted to get that game off the schedule as well. But no, sir, man. And I think it's going to be interesting because obviously USC without their quarterback, LSU without their quarterback, those were the 1 and 2 Heisman votes for last year. So that game has got a lot of intrigue. And then you go back to Coach O's last year at LSU versus UCLA, and UCLA, I believe, got the job done.
They did.
Against LSU there. So yeah, this is I like this little Big Ten SEC. Pac-12
it's almost like the basketball thing they do when they do the Big Ten SEC matchup, or it might be, I think it's Big Ten SEC. But anyway,
Big 12 SEC.
Big 12 SEC. At USC, number 9 on the hardest schedule, like you said, versus LSU. They got LSU at home, then they go home Utah State, then they go at Michigan, home against Wisconsin, at Minnesota, home against Penn State, at Maryland, home against Rutgers, at Washington, home against Nebraska, at UCLA, and then home against Notre Dame.
All I can see is just planes traveling back and
just
forth.
zoom, 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 zoom. Just hop on Taylor Swift's plane. We'll be fine.
There you go.
Number 8 is Georgia Tech. I'll go through these next couple pretty fast. Georgia Tech's schedule is home against Florida State, home against Georgia State, at Syracuse, home against VMI, at Louisville, home against Duke, at North Carolina, home against Notre Dame, at Virginia Tech, home against Miami, home against NC State, and then, of course, round out the season on the road in Athens, Georgia. It's always tough for Georgia Tech and only seeming to get tougher. And then, of course,
I guess that's what makes it tough is that they have Georgia at the end of their schedule. I mean, Florida State, that game is going to be in Ireland. So
that's right. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
But then outside, I mean, I don't know. I'm just like listening to that schedule, like, okay, ACC school.
And that's why it's number 9. But they got to go. Grayson McCall coming. Wolfpack. I got to cheer for the Wolfpack now. Well, I'm just cheering for Grayson McCall.
Oh, here we go.
And then
North Carolina State Auburn bowl game coming at you this year.
There we go. Woof woof.
So if it's North Carolina State versus Auburn, are you riding with the Wolfpack?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh,
if it happens. What do they say? The kids nowadays, they just follow players around.
There we go, man. Anything to take you away from them Tigers.
Hey, there you go. You're all for that. I just want to see Grayson have a great season and get him a little better opportunity there when it comes draft time. But number 7 is Vandy. I'm not going to go through their schedule.
Vandy being on this list is, if
regardless of what
was for another team that wasn't Vanderbilt, would it be so hard? I'm being facetious.
I know. Well, I mean, they got Bama, Kentucky, Texas, Auburn, South Carolina, LSU, and Tennessee all in a row. Their first games are okay, but and at Missouri too. At Missouri
is the team to watch out for this year.
Definitely. Mississippi State number 6, Georgia number 5 versus Clemson versus Tennessee Tech, at Kentucky, at Alabama, home against Auburn, home against Mississippi State, at Texas. Obviously, Florida is the world's largest cocktail party. At Ole Miss, home against Tennessee, home against UMass, and then finishing up the season with the Rambling Wreck. South Carolina, number 4, home against ODU, which our good friend there, Ryan Huff from Pensacola Catholic, he won not this year, but the previous year coming up. Then they go at Kentucky, home against LSU, home against Akron, home against Ole Miss, at Alabama, at Oklahoma, home against Texas A&M. They get a nice break with Vanderbilt on the road, then home against Missouri, home against Wofford, and as they always finish their season with the in-state rival Clemson. Number 3, you've got Oklahoma. Number 2, you've got Arkansas, and then the hardest schedule, according to all these FPIs and all that stuff, is the Florida Gators, or as Jay calls them, the Lizards.
The Lizards.
Their schedule is home against Miami, home against Samford, home against Texas A&M. So they got 3 home games to get going. Then they go on the road at Mississippi State. Then they go back home against UCF. Then they go on the road against Tennessee, home against Kentucky, world's largest cocktail party against Georgia. Then it doesn't get any better. They go Georgia, at Texas, home against LSU, home against Ole Miss, and then finish their season home against Florida State. And there's so many questions with the program there in Florida right now, and it starts with that schedule and how tough it is, no doubt about that.
And their win-loss total sitting at like 4.5, and the
over there is you're like, well, I can see it not.
But they could come right, exactly. You could see it not happening, but at the same time, so many question marks for some of those schools that you could see them getting that over there. But I think Billy Napier needs to win. Like, he's got to be in a bowl game.
This is a huge year for Napier,
and it's tough too because DJ Lagway, like, does he want to be a Gator? Does he want to play under Napier?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you lose Napier, and then would that end up costing you DJ Lagway? I mean, it's
year to year anyway at this point anyway. It's some wild stuff. But it's 11:57. We got to take our top of the hour break. When we get back, if Jay's here, we're going to do his tip of the week, dive into the afternoon delight debrief. Don't forget, we got Brad Law coming up at 12:20. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
For 7 years, ESPN Northwest Florida has been your destination on the Panhandle for the Atlanta Braves.
He just blew the doors off that thing.
But our listeners are the real MVP.
Another dominating performance.
So this year, we're giving away more tickets to Truist Park than ever before. Keep listening to win family 4-packs to experience the Atlanta Braves. From ESPN Northwest Florida, PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Good morning, this is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. A mixture of some clouds and likely thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a wind out of the southwest around 14 miles per hour and the high of 85. Tonight, look for possible thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies with a temperature near 77. Tomorrow, a high around 87 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
A Gain Centipede story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue? And tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay should be here momentarily with lunch, as he just told us. You know, we're just going to take a break from the live segment and just eat some lunch. We'll just do that. You guys can hear us eat. And if you're like me and you have that, whatever that thing is called, where you don't like the sound of that kind of stuff, you know, you may not like us.
AMSR or whatever?
Something like that. There's a real thing for it.
Wait, for
like when you
don't like
the sound of like smacking or chewing and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a real thing. I forget what it's called, but it is certainly a real
soundophobia.
Yeah, soundophobia. There you go. Just phobia. It's a phobia in general. I know that the Spider 80 Afternoon Delight we did a couple days ago has really been getting around, and
I saw that.
I've seen that on social media, and you know the headlines make you think that it's dangerous, but it's really not. They're not going to do anything to you. But you're listening to the Inside Drive.
Just eat them.
Yeah, just eat them. They're big. They're crunchy.
I've been seeing people at ball games like with those cicadas.
Oh yeah,
eating those cicadas and like dipping them in beer and then eating their like biting their head off or whatever. Like, okay,
interesting,
brother.
Interesting. Hey, you know they'll let anybody in a Major League Baseball game nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the Inside Drive. It's 12 o'clock. When Jay gets here, he doesn't know, but if he's listening, he's gonna have to come in hot with a tip of the week because we haven't had one yet today, and maybe it can have to do with some junior golf. As he's been spending a lot of time with the youngsters over there at Bay Point Golf Club. But 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. Lots of tarpon over there running, that is for sure. You can also watch, listen, like, comment, share all those things on all of our social channels. That's Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And you can follow us on TikTok, Inside.Drive. And last but not least, go to ESPNPC.com. Got to thank our awesome studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer, GM, and Kramer Marine and Outdoor, right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street, the mecca of boat and car dealerships. Lots of new vehicles in stock, services rocking and rolling. They even got express service. You just need an oil change. You pull right in. They'll get you going and they'll get you out. And they'll make it easy and take great care of you as they always do. And then tarpon, snapper, grouper, all that stuff. Redfish. But you didn't need a boat to do that one. Well, you needed a kayak to get where I went, but I was walking.
You could swim out there.
Yeah, you could swim. You could.
I was trying to swim out to Destin and find them orcas, man.
That was going to be one of the, I was going to let you run with that afternoon delight debrief.
Bro, so it's, well, continue.
Yeah, no, anyway, I was just, if you need a boat, Kramer Marine and Outdoor will get you going. If you need your boat fixed, they'll get it fixed up. They'll even come to you to do it. But if you want to buy something new, they got Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, all part of that CRI family. They also got the legendary Skeeter boats. They got great used inventory as well. You can check all that out at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. Let's talk about some orcas. It's on my list. I got some other ones too that are kind of morbid, but that's okay.
I saw that video of right out there off of Destin with the pod of orcas, and then you had texted in the group about it, and it was funny because I was sitting down there at the bay. I had to do normally on Wednesdays I leave about 5:40 and go to church, but wasn't able to get out of here till about 6:15 yesterday, so I just went down to the bay, and where I was sitting at down on the bay, there was like some nice benches and whatnot, and there was a dock that was going out, and someone was on their boat out there, and they kept on like blowing like this horn that sounded like it was whales. So it was funny. Right after you texted me and I said, all right, I'm going to swim out there and find them, I kept on trying to record when I thought they were going to be making that noise. Yeah, but it would have been funny. Like, I'm on my way.
That would have been epic if it was just the sound.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, he's out there with the orcas. Now, does that happen often around here?
I've never seen that.
I mean, you are the killer whale expert. We did educate Jay that they are actually killers. Yeah. Now, typically seals and stuff like that, but
there was also dolphins in that pod of orcas as well. So, man, that would be really cool. I don't know if I would actually have the cojones to jump in the water with them.
That could get dicey.
But if someone, went first, then I'm right there with you.
And if they came back, then...
Because I feel like if there's killer whales right there, then less opportunity for a shark. And as long as I'm, I don't know. I see a lot of those videos of people in kayaks and stuff. And I think the bigger the boat, the worse off you are with the killer whale.
Yeah. No doubt about that. And, there's another one of those movies sensationalizing the safety of a killer whale and all that. But you just got to keep a dolphin with you at all times. I feel like dolphins are the greatest protectors out there.
There you go, man.
That just hit it right in the eye.
If anybody would like to take me out there to go orca searching.
Yeah.
I'm down with
There's
it.
an opportunity right now, whale watching in Panama City Beach.
Whale watching in PCB. Who would have thunk it?
Why not?
Thought I was going to have to travel to Alaska to accomplish my bucket list.
Typically in the Pacific Northwest is more where you see the pods of orcas.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Wild stuff. You never know.
Literally wild.
Literally wild. It's like Jack Hanna, right?
Can we get one of them things in Gulf World and I'll become the trainer?
Yeah, I don't think they have any orcas there.
Don't.
No, I don't think they are big enough.
I don't think people would be fond of me saying that.
Yeah, well, you got both sides of the coin on that one, as you do with everything.
I mean, but we got to have something to study, right?
That's it. You know, you can't study them if they're out there.
And you can't study them very well if they're in there.
That's true. That's true. And a lot of times they don't make it. That's just sad. It's just sad. I'm gonna let Jay read this one afternoon delight debrief when he gets here, because he's actually the one that sent it to us.
Yeah.
But these both have to do with somebody unfortunately passing away. But this one is real simple. Man suffers heart attack, dies at work. Coworkers gather for group selfie, thinking he'd fallen asleep. There's like 20 of them that take a selfie with this guy, and apparently he had a heart attack and passed away.
Oh.
They just thought he was taking a nap.
Dang. So watch who you take your selfies with.
That's right. Maybe somebody should have tapped him on the shoulder, put your hand under his nose to see if he was breathing.
Smelling salt.
That's it. Hey, smelling salts have been brought back several times not brought back from like cardiac arrest, but brought back from being unconscious.
Yeah,
unconscious. Absolutely. One more thing. I got this is from this a little again kind of a sad but kind of wild. That's why it's one here with the Afternoon Delight debriefs. This is from an Instagram site called Mega Aviation. In July 2022, a co-pilot jumped to his death from a CASA C-212 in North Carolina, reportedly upset over damaging the landing gear during a failed approach. The pilot said the co-pilot became visibly upset after they diverted to another airport for an emergency landing. The co-pilot opened up the side window, appeared ill, lowered the ramp, apologized, and exited via the aft ramp door. The incident occurred about 30 miles south of the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Charles Hugh Crooks, 23, had no parachute and was found in a backyard in Fuquay Varina. There's got to be more to that one, that's for sure. And they also have the radio back and forth with the air traffic controller, and the air traffic controller was like he jumped out the back, assuming because this is one of those type of planes where you can open up and just parachute right out the back of, and he just decided to make a move.
No, walking away sometimes isn't always the best. The best route, right?
Yep. No, absolutely. Gosh, there's got to be a lot more to that story. That's for sure. I mean, Jay, it's 12:08, man.
Well, last time when he was supposed to be here at 12, got here about 12:17. Now you have to add in the addition of he said he's bringing lunch. So we're looking at about, I'll say 12:25.
We got Brad Law coming up at 12:20, but he's got to be here for 12:40 because we got to make our picks because he's not here for tomorrow.
He's far enough behind now where it is what it is, right?
Yeah, you'd have to really just tank the rest of the way.
I think I could tank and still win.
Against him, yeah.
No, not against you. No doubt.
I'm getting further back now, but I may still be slightly in.
If I keep talking like this, y'all are going to both come back.
That is true. All right, we'll hit one more while we're waiting. This is again from UPI.com. Haven't dove into that one in a while. Been finding some weird stuff coming from the Instagram world, that's for sure. Title of this article is Peacock Evades Animal Control Officers. I just got a text from an employee out there at Bay Point. Jay left Bay Point at 11:45 p.m. It's been 21.
Dude, that is not cool, man.
26 minutes.
Stitching on Jay.
I like it. See, I got people everywhere. They just don't know it.
11:45.
It's been 26 minutes since he's left Bay Point.
Oh man, that drive-through's got to be long.
Well, it's peak drive-through hour right now.
But did he actually leave at 11:45, or was that the last time they seen him? Because he's got to pick up the broken tees and all of that good stuff.
I'm assuming he did that first, and then that's why, because it ended at 11:30 and it took him 15 minutes.
I'm trying to give him excuses.
Yeah, I know. He's texting us. Let's see. He's currently, the drive-through is long. Imagine that, Jay. You went at 12 o'clock. We'll see you when you get here. You're pretty much just going to come to give me a ride back home now at this point. But Peacock evades animal control officers in Michigan. A male peacock spreads his plumage for visitors in the St. Louis Zoo on March 14th, 2000. Animal control officers in Saginaw Township, Michigan, are searching for a peacock that escaped from Valley Lutheran High School. Again, animal control officers are pursuing a peacock that has given them the slip for the last 2 days. A Lutheran Valley High School student in Saginaw Township spotted the bird on his way to school Monday. The student captured the bird and brought it into the school where it escaped. Saginaw County Animal Care and Control officers posted a plea on Facebook asking area residents to contact them with any sightings. The Township Police Department shared the post and area residents joined the search. He's in a wooded area and surprisingly agile and fast, Rachel Horton, the animal shelter's director, told. He flies pretty gracefully. Animal control officers pursued the peacock, including climbing a tree, but came up empty-handed. They added an animal capture net to their Amazon wish list, Horton said. The peacock's owner is unknown. Apparently, the peacock's still on the APB.
Still on the loose, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful birds, though.
They are. And
do people eat peacocks?
I don't think so.
Too pretty?
I mean, I think people would eat anything with.
Well, no.
But no, I don't think like you go to a restaurant and say, "Hey, let me get the peacock, please." I just love just without the plumage, just more the bird.
I imagine you could take those feathers and make a very beautiful table setting as well.
That's
yes,
for sure.
Some people eat peacocks, and the meat has been eaten by wealthy people throughout history. Peacocks are served in restaurants and are also eaten by patients and pregnant women because of their nutritional value.
Come on,
there you go.
This is why we do the Afternoon Delight debrief segment.
While the meat of the peacock is edible, the meat is carefully removed from the body, roasted, and then sewn back into the flesh. I guess this is a certain recipe for Thanksgiving.
So you take it out, roast it, put it back in, and it gets some more flavor or something?
I guess so, man. But I guess this is a recipe and how to make it beautiful after you've already prepped the meat up and everything.
Okay.
But now I want to eat a peacock.
Yeah. Well, you know where there's a lot of peacocts? The Fountain of Youth. That too. But you got to pay for that. It's like a monthly thing or something. I don't know. Oh, did he make it? I feel like you can buzz him in. We'll see what happens. He's got to read the one. I'm going to put him on the spot right off the jump when he comes in. But yeah, St. Augustine, when you go to there, the Fountain of Youth, they got peacocks everywhere in that whole area. Just all over the place.
That just made my hunting trip really easy.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, feels like hundreds. There he is.
A bag.
There he is.
Or not a bag, a net. I'll go get a cast net. Go to the fountain.
You'd be able to get them pretty quick. I don't know. The one lady said they're very, very elusive and fast.
I bet they are.
They're pretty loud too. And Beth is terrified of birds. So when we were there, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I can't really eat live on the air, Jay. That's not how this works.
Jay's like, well,
I was in the truck
your mic's not on yet. You haven't been here all day. Now it is.
Now it is.
So all your crinkling of the bag is coming through the airways.
I was in the truck listening to you guys.
Oh, we know.
While I was eating my hamburger.
Now, so you ate. Good. You needed to. You've been busy with the kids all morning. I understand. Hey, there's a yes. Thank you, Jay. I don't know if I need two, but if I want double, you know what, then
there you go, man. Because if you just eat one, then it's like
then you kind of feel a little yucky. But if you eat two, you feel like crap.
No, you feel great, man.
Yeah, for about 10 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. We appreciate you bringing the food.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what you got to read is what you sent us the other day.
You come in and just get put right on the spot.
Yeah, and you can do it quick and skip over it because then next you're going to give us a tip of the week.
Oh, good gracious!
Did you hear that Steve outed you when you left Bay Point?
I heard.
Yeah.
It was more like 11:52 or something.
He sent me a video and the timestamp of when the white truck was leaving the premises.
There's a lot of traffic out there.
Yeah. Thomas Drive just packed out on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Gotta watch out. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I'm looking.
I've got it here if you need it. You just have to take my computer.
Oh, is it about the remote tribe?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. I mean, and this is what? This is very society norm. I don't know if norm's the right word, but let it fly, baby.
I would say the antonym of norm.
Yes.
The headlines read, Remote Tribe given internet by Elon Musk, Starlink becomes addicted to porn and social media.
That's what happens when you get the internet for the first time.
A remote Amazon tribe, the Marubo, has experienced significant changes after gaining access to Elon Musk's Starlink internet service.
Which is a satellite internet service.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. The tribe, comprising around 2,000 members, initially welcomed the internet as a means to access emergency services and educational resources. However, many young members have become engrossed in social media and pornography, causing concerns among the elders about the erosion of their traditional way of life.
This is where David plays Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. But I mean, how quick? Like, that's insane.
That's crazy.
That just goes to show you that the internet maybe isn't the best thing in the world.
There's a picture of one of these tribe members got a Starlink box over their head, and they're just like, they've got the biggest smile on their face.
Also wearing a Harvard T-shirt as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The tribe, apparently, the Marubo tribe down there in the Amazon jungle is big linked in there with Harvard. All right, Max. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I hope Max is listening just for that.
Oh, buddy boy. Welcome in, Jay.
Yes, sir.
I expected you to make an entrance, so that's why you had to start with that. How's the camp going? You got one more day?
One more day. It's been a quick week.
For some of us.
Yeah. How about you guys? Give me a rundown on how did Keith show up yesterday?
He did. Well, he didn't show up. He was on the line.
Hey, one little excerpt from this article that I'm reading about the Marubo tribe. One of the elders in the tribe said that people have become lazy and are learning the ways of the white people. He still asks for the internet access to remain.
And the irony is, we are on the internet learning about this story and then talking about them getting access to the internet.
Oh, the internet is undefeated.
Undefeated.
This is amazing. Amazing.
Remember when the internet, you had to dial up and you really had to want to be on the internet?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
And then somebody picked up the phone and he got kicked off.
Yep.
Mom!
Yep.
Stop making phone calls. And then you had two lines. I mean, technology in the last 30 years has just snowballed, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, you got 3 minutes. I'm going to continue to put you on the spot. You should know because I said it when you were listening, but I need a tip of the week. We haven't had one.
It's Jay's Golf Tip of the Week.
And maybe lump it in with your junior camp and maybe have a junior tip of the week. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it easy for you here.
Well, the theme this week has been balance. Like, we have really...
This week?
Yeah.
Balance is the theme?
Yeah, that's the theme.
Not every week?
Well, I mean, you know...
We've been doing this for a year and a little over a year, and balance has been the theme quite often.
For junior golf camp. Yeah, this week.
And older golf and regular golf and left-handed golf.
RBP, baby.
Yeah.
RBP. Rhythm, balance.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, RBP. Yeah.
You could put it however you want.
Professional bull riding.
There you go.
All right, you only got like a minute and a half left, so get this tip out about balance.
Balance.
Just have good balance, right?
Yeah, you do. You want to have good balance.
Pretty much in everything.
But how do we create that? That's right.
Yeah,
as in
how
life.
do we create the balance?
Ooh.
Work-life balance?
I'm trying to get better at it. I don't know how good I am about it. But.
It depends
You're pretty good. Look how you're balancing all of this.
Yeah.
You're juggling. You're juggling more than balancing.
Right.
But you did good.
But from a golf standpoint, it's all about a centered turn and keeping that balance. You never want to sway.
Swaying is bad. You don't want to be a gate.
You don't want to bob for apples.
No.
You don't want to do that.
How you bobbing for apples in a golf swing?
Yeah. All right. I see a lot of heads going down,
Hey, to each his own, buddy. To each his own.
Yeah.
Whatever you do is whatever you do. But getting back to the balance, you only got about 20 seconds now.
Yeah, no chicken head in the golf swing. That's
there you
right.
Go.
Yeah,
you should just play Project Pat, all his albums, your entire junior camp.
That's right.
You may not get some returners.
No. But yeah, balance.
Make it easier for next year.
Oh, goodness. Balance. Go ahead. Finish it up because we got to get on the phone with Brad.
Hey, keep a centered pivot, center turn, make it happen.
Don't sway. Stay inside the box.
Yep, stay inside the box.
And don't fall over.
Yeah.
Have good balance.
That's it.
All right.
Was it the box or the bag?
Box or the bag? I don't know. But hey, you can eat your other cheeseburger here while we go on break because Brad Law's coming up, and I know you've lined up a fantastic interview for him, so we appreciate you doing that. But you're listening to The Inside Drive. Jay's back. If you haven't noticed, you obviously have. We'll be right back with Law, the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network.
A America's team plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Chris Sale lead the Braves' dominant pitching rotation.
That's 18 up, 18 down.
Sponsored by Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Bestway Portable Buildings, PCB Hobby, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Got him swinging, strike 3.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, partly cloudy and likely thunderstorms and a temperature of 85 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. Possible thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 77. Mostly sunny and 87 tomorrow. 89 and sunshine with a light breeze Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the most convenient way to buy men's clothing. Pierce Bespoke. Whether it's custom or casual, they come to you to take the hassle out of shopping. If buying off the rack doesn't work for you, let Pierce Bespoke show you how to get the perfect fit. Call Pierce Bespoke to schedule your appointment. 251-278-8270. That's 251-278-8270.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Since the last time we've talked to Brad Law, the Auburn men's golf team won the first golf national championship in program history after 15 years of Mr. Nick Clenard's leadership there at Auburn. And Brad, we'll bring you in. How are you doing today? You there, Brad? All right, Jay, you're going to have to take over.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. Yep, we can hear you now. How are you doing today, Brad?
We're doing great. Hope you guys are too.
Oh, we're doing fantastic. Jay just came in hot after some junior camp action, as this is the summertime, and that's one of those camps that you got to do for the kiddos to keep them involved in the game of golf, of course. But, like I was mentioning last time we talked to you was before the national championship. We've been talking Auburn golf all spring, and lo and behold, it came to fruition after some pretty intense matches, not only just the semifinal match, but the final match as well. What has it been like up there at Auburn? I saw, the excitement at Toomer's Corner, and, a golf national championship is so hard to win. So what's the buzz been like up there in Auburn?
Well, it's been tremendous, and I think we talked about this last time. This was the best team in the country all year by far.
Yeah, they pretty much won everything.
It reminded me of that Patriots team in 2007, went undefeated in the regular season. They ultimately lost.
Yes.
The Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Helmet catch.
And that's what I compared this team to, except they finished the job. They didn't go literally undefeated, but in terms of collegiate golf and team golf and those types of events, it reminded me of the same thing in that when they started their postseason run, you would have felt legitimately disappointed by anything other than a national championship. And as good as Jackson Coyven has been, and he's, player of the year, and, he's won all types of national awards that some really well-known golfers in the past have won, at the end of the day, it came down to J.M. Butler, a senior who had to win it, because the other guys took care of their matches, and they went 2-2 in the others, and he had to. J.M. Butler was the superstar hotshot freshman 3 years ago.
Yep.
And now again, then it came down to him in the end to close it out. So it really was. It was a remarkable team. It was something that Nick Kleinert said at the beginning of the year. He said, this team's good enough to win the entire thing. That's our goal. That's our expectation.
Yeah.
And then they did it. So to say it is one thing, to do it is something else, and they did it.
Absolutely. I mean, and not only just that final match, but that semifinal match they had with Ohio State. I mean, it was back and forth. You go to extra holes with the freshman out there who had kind of the team on his shoulders. And, you know, arguably you can say that that TV tower really helped Auburn give them a chance because, and, you know, being the golfers that we are, and, you know, you could tell he's just jacked up. He's juiced up. That ball's sitting up in that rough. And you're like, I hope he's dialed down on clubs. And he went after that, and as soon as he hit it, I was like, oh man, that jump, that's flying.
Yeah.
And sometimes destiny, you need and it's, we talk about all the time, you know, in order to win golf tournaments, in order to get to the PGA Tour, you have to have some breaks along the way, and that was obviously a big one. And he goes on to close the match against a kid who had just come back in the same fashion in the quarterfinal match to force extra holes, but actually to go on and win in that one. But how important in that final match, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Coach and all that, but how important was, you know, Jackson went out in the third match, which, you know, a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't come down to the fifth match. So, you know, him having a dominant performance in that championship match, how important was it for the Auburn guys to see that point get up on the board?
Yeah, that's a really great question because it's not like the entire team plays all night, like in a baseball game.
Yeah.
Like the whole team plays every inning of a baseball game. It's not 5 individual matches. It's not like golf where it's 5 individual matches. And one guy could play the game of his life, could shoot the round of his career,
and you still
lose. It could mean nothing unless 2 other guys go out and win their matches. So I think it was important to get the first win, to get the first point on the board. I think Auburn trailed in 3 of the 5 matches on the front 9 or after the first 9 holes.
Yep.
And so, you know, for Jackson to be the guy to surge and close so strong and then to chip it in above all things for, you know, to close out the match early. It's always big to get that first point on the board. Now you go, okay, if we play even the rest of the way, we've taken home the championship. So yeah, in that regard, I think it was huge.
Absolutely. Just so much fun. I mean, and we you know, obviously we cover Auburn and we're an affiliate down here and talk to you every other week. But, you know, Trey Jones is a good friend of us as well. And we're very involved with the Florida State golf program. So really, when we were watching that, I felt so much less anxiety than I did in the semifinals, willing Florida State and Auburn to get in it. And lo and behold, they did. But unfortunately, there always has to be one winner and one loser. And Coach Jones is had a 21-year unbelievable career there at Florida State, 9 straight national championships. They lost in a heartbreaker in the semifinals last year to Florida on that extra holes putt that sent Florida to the national championship. They went on to win. But, you know, speaking specifically about Jackson Quivin, I didn't realize this until this morning when I was doing some research. You know, he's the 8th player to sweep the 3 National Golfer of the Year awards. That's the Haskins Award, the Nicholas Award, and the Ben Hogan Award. And you had mentioned there's some names that are pretty recognizable. Jay, you probably even know these. Ludwig Aubert. He did it last year with Texas Tech. John Pock, who when we hosted an event out there when I was with St. Joe, played in that one. Sahith Theegala, Patrick Rogers, Ryan Moore, Bill Haas, and Hunter Mahan. Obviously, all have gone on to play professional golf. But Jackson Quivin's got a pretty awesome opportunity, which starts here in about 30 minutes, as he got an exemption to play in the Memorial Tournament, which is a signature event, obviously, as an amateur. But he's a freshman, obviously returning to Auburn. He's still got the opportunities to come through the PGA Tour U, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, I have no doubts that he'll be number 1 on that ranking at some point and get an opportunity. But how cool of an experience for him and Auburn University to have, you know, such a player go and play in that event. That's just got to be cool for the university.
Yeah, it is. It's cool for the university. It's unbelievable for him and his professional development. It's again, this dynamic of team golf versus individual golf.
Yeah.
It's cool. Cool almost seems like too sophomoric a word to use. What a learning opportunity for him. What an experience.
Yeah, learn what it's all about.
And you never forget your first event like that. Or he has done a really good job of taking all of the success of this year and not letting it affect his approach to his game. That's awesome. Now he can do that and sort of take it all upon himself for this event. He's not a part of a team. He's not doing it for a team necessarily. This is something that can be for him. And I think we're all excited to see that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's completely different. It's just him out there now where when you're playing for your university, and I've mentioned it a million times here, you're not only playing for yourself, you're playing for your teammates, you're playing for your school, you're playing for your fan base, you're playing for your alumni. Yeah. That is a lot of pressure versus, just going out there and you're playing for yourself and your quote unquote livelihood, obviously when you turn pro. But obviously.
And to go back to kind of one of the earlier questions, what has the response been like? I think it's one thing if your school doesn't really pay attention to what the team is doing all that much, maybe until they get to a championship opportunity. But this is an area, I think we've talked before, Auburn, Alabama is one of the top golf destinations in the Southeast with numerous courses, beautiful courses, highly respected. Opelika hosted a sort of a secondary tour tournament for several years right beside Auburn, Opelika. So this is an area that knows the game, respects the game, and has supported not just, when Jackson Coyban came on campus, but for a long time now with Coach Kleinert here, they've supported the golf program. So I think the team recognizes that support. And so it is a little bit different. You are playing for people who recognize what you're doing and appreciate what you're doing for the university.
Yep, absolutely. Very unique when it comes to golf and all that. But, the last point I'll end on golf here is I would say that this Auburn team, arguably one of the best men's college golf teams in golf history, just with how dominant they were. Like you said, you're not typically going to win every tournament because it's so hard to do that. But I think they won almost all of their particular spring tournaments, and then obviously go on to win the SEC championship. They go on to win the regional, they go on to win the national championship. So just an unbelievable performance, and I'm sure a lot of future Auburn sports Hall of Famers when it comes to the golf team from this particular year. But
no doubt. And on top of winning all they didn't finish lower than third.
Yeah, unbelievable.
In any tournament this year. That's wild. The consistently good play is remarkable.
And they finished the job. And sometimes that doesn't happen. So proud of the Auburn Tigers golf team. One of these teams was going to get their first national championship, and it happened to be Auburn. And we're glad to talk to you and hear all about it. Let's pivot to a different sport that's obviously a little bigger for most of our listeners and all that. But you had an opportunity to host a luncheon this past Tuesday that Coach Freeze was putting on. Anything that kind of came out of that our listeners and Auburn fans down here need to know about?
There were some things that candidly I'll keep in the confidence of those meetings, because those are, we've got some sponsors that come in and do these things, and their experiences that sometimes, kind of like booster club talks or more of the rah-rah, like, get you might not say it at the SEC Media Days, but when the room is just your people, you say things maybe a little differently. And so,
sure.
What I took away from that is that he said he had never been to a place where he thought he got it right in the first year. Not at Liberty, not at Ole Miss, not at Lambeth, not anywhere where the first year, like, all right, that's exactly the same kind of formula we'll use going forward.
Yeah.
And in the off season, I think even more important than the talent additions, recruiting in the portal, the coaching staff. I think he has supreme belief and comfort with Kent Austin as quarterback coach. Supreme belief and trust and comfort with Derek Nix as the offensive coordinator. And so I think particularly because he's such an offensive-minded head coach, and that's his reputation. He's the head coach, but his reputation is offense. His background is offense. I think the comfort, familiarity that he has with those guys, he can spend time recruiting and then go to the tail end of a positional meeting and know that what the coaches have said, it's exactly what he asked them to say, the way he asked them to say it, and they've stayed on theme. And, that kind of thing is important. We had a big recruiting weekend last weekend, and multiple recruits who were in made comments like it was the most comprehensive, it was the most detailed recruiting visit I've ever been on. And I asked him about that, and he said, and it comes from the comfort and familiarity with the staff. Yeah. He can say to his group, I want X, Y, and Z covered by the time I go in to, kind of close a recruiting meeting. And the guys get it. They know exactly what their head coach wants to communicate. Yeah. And so I think that trickles down to practice. It trickles down into, training, conditioning sessions. It's everything. And then on game day. So that's huge. And I think that was one of the big takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it feels like something that the Auburn football program has been yearning for several years. And like you said, the first year it's you're like you said, Freeze. Everywhere he's been, it's not exactly how he's going to want it to be, and it takes time to get it going. But it does seem like things have, with the transfer portal and everything else going on and pulling in the coaches, that things are maybe accelerating a little bit for Auburn. And I want to ask you one more question before we got to go, specifically to the Auburn wide receiver core. I mean, I'm doing a lot of research. Obviously, Cam Coleman could be one of the biggest potential Auburn receivers that they've had in a long time, but it's not just him. Hugh Freeze has had some notable wide receivers go on and have great NFL careers. And do you think that the wide receiver group at Auburn coming into the fall is going to be one of the better that we've seen in a long time?
100% yes. I think that's the expectation. May not happen, but I think that's the expectation. With this there's a picture going around social media today from a recent, photo session here on campus with the 4 freshmen coming in, the Freeze 4, Malcolm Simmons and Bryce Kane and Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman. And those 4 guys alone make the receiving room, I think, better, objectively better than it was a season ago. Now, you could argue that's a low bar. And so they've also added Robert Lewis, who, earned over 1,000 yards during his career at Georgia State. And they also went out and got Keandre Lambert-Smith from Penn State, number 1 receiver on that team, which won 10 games in back-to-back seasons. So, they've got a really good mix. Not only that, but I think Camden Brown, who, if he's healthy, he had a really good spring, really good A-Day, showed out well. All those guys take pressure off of Rivaldo Fairweather, who's one of those combo tight ends now. He's listed as a tight end, but he's a big-time pass catcher, as we saw last year. There are just so many more explosive options. There's a greater number, and we think a greater productivity from the wide receiver room. Before the next 3 or 4 years are over, I think we'll talk about the greatest receiver core in Auburn history. I think right now you look at the early 2000s, Ben Obomanu, Devin Aroma-Shadu, Courtney Taylor, Anthony Mix, that group. I think I'm leaving somebody out, perhaps, but in any event, Jarris McIntyre was a part of that group as well. That's a pretty good group, but I think we will see collectively, I expect to see a group you could argue is better than that in the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, I know the Auburn fan base, especially down here in the Florida Panhandle, is very anxious to see some of that happening, no doubt about that. And I think everything's certainly moving in the right direction under Hugh Freeze's leadership. And we look forward to continuing to talk to you and getting ready for what will be here quicker than we know it. And that's the 2024-25 college football season. Brad, we appreciate your time as always, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, guys. War Eagle to the Auburn fans on the coast. We'll be seeing you soon.
There you go. War Eagle indeed. All right. It's that time, Jay Henley. What time is it? It's not game time. Who?
No. Caller 10.
Caller 10. Yeah. That's specific. All right, David, get me the cue. That is your cue to call. It's the 7-year send-off from ESPN Northwest Florida. We're celebrating our 7-year anniversary coming up on June 17th. So we've decided to pair with some sponsors, PCB Hobby, the Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, as well as Home 2 Suites, to give away a ticket prize package to head up there to see the Atlanta Braves play the Toronto Blue Jays on September 7th. That package includes hotel, spending cash, food and beverage at the game, as well as amazing seats to the Xfinity Club. Beautiful thing about this, Jay Henley, is you can enter as many times as you want, and each time you're going to get an awesome qualifying prize. Today is going to be a Mountain Dew bag, a Shaquille O'Neal Magic jersey, and a $10 Swampy Jack gift card. We're taking caller number 10 as we speak. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
America's team plays here.
And a rocket to right field. This thing is into orbit.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Acuna, Ozzie, and Austin Riley lead the Braves' high-powered offense.
Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Brock's Pest Control. Store more portable buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions. Billberg Kia and Mid-South Lumber.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a place that feels like home right in the heart of Panama City? Well, look no further than Charlie Corm's Place at their new location on 15th Street. Charlie Corm's is not just a place, it's an experience. Imagine cozy corners, friendly faces, and the aroma of delicious dishes that'll make your taste buds dance. From sunrise breakfast to late night bites, Charlie Corm's on 15th Street has it all. Charlie Corm's Place on 15th Street is now offering exclusive weekday lunch specials. Visit Charlie Corm's Place on 15th Street. Look for the giant mural.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's alive! Look alive! We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chicken. And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got our 10th caller on the line. Automatically wins a Mountain Dew bag, Shaquille O'Neal Magic jersey, and a $10 gift card over there to Swampy Jack's. Jay, bring him in.
Oh, is this Steve Wiley on the phone?
Yeah, I'm the one who ratted you out.
Yeah.
I have to admit it.
You're not the only one, Steve, so it's okay. It's okay. Hey,
I was just concerned that maybe they were really hungry and they were wondering where you were.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But, being able to
threw the food right back at him.
Yeah.
Here you go, fat boy, eat this.
I can't wait to see Steve in this Shaq jersey. That's what I can't wait. Are you going to wear that sometime this week?
I'm excited.
Well, it's NBA playoffs, so I'll put it on while I'm in the cart barn sometime.
There you go.
Hey, people would understand. That's for sure. That's for sure. But congratulations, Steve. Obviously, you can enter as many times as you want between now and next Friday. But I've got to pivot and ask you a question before we get into our pick'ems. Who do you like for the Belmont this weekend? I know you're the big horse racing guy, just like Alan, so I got to hear your picks. A lot of familiar faces in this one.
Has Alan made his...
He's coming on tomorrow at, I believe it's 11:20 we'll have him on.
Well, I got to go with Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
He ran an excellent race in the Kentucky Derby. It was a slow pace in the Kentucky Derby, and he needs a fast pace, and I think they're going to get a fast pace for this race up at Saratoga. So
there you go, Jay. Download the Twin Spires app and get your bet in there.
Yeah. Did you pick him last year, Steve? It seems
they don't.
They don't go.
No,
you have to be.
I really didn't have a Derby pick. I kind of like the horse that finished fourth in the Derby. I can't even remember his name now, but
okay.
No, I may go over to Ebro and, a penny or two might fall out of my pocket on Sierra Leone.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. But Steve, we appreciate you as always, and I appreciate you keeping an eye on Jay out there because somebody has to do it. If you're not, nobody else is, and
That's right.
Lord knows what will happen if he just starts to run free. So
Okay, that's true. Free-range Jay.
Free range Jay.
That's right.
That's a whole different ball game. That's for sure. Steve, we appreciate you as always, and enjoy the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Obviously, we'll be rooting for you as well to win the send off, and that'll be given away on June 17th, the 7-year anniversary here of ESPN Northwest Florida. And we'll have to be getting fantasy football dialed up here pretty soon as well.
Oh yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to.
Lots of stuff going on. Steve, have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
From Maine.
From Maine.
And
That's right.
He knows his horses. That's
Yes,
for
he
sure.
does.
That is for sure. All right. Real quick, before we get into our pick'em, Jay, who do you like? Tonight is game 1 of the NBA Finals. You got the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Luka and Kyrie going up to face the Boston Celtics. Pretty big favorite. Keith talked a little bit about it yesterday as well. But what are you thinking? Can Luka and Kyrie go in there and have an upset here in game 1, or is Boston going to continue their dominant ways and make something happen and win another championship?
I'm not going to change my ways, Ryan. I think Boston's got Irish on their side with a little bit of pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and they're going to touch that trophy game. Let's call it Game 5. Will they touch that? Oh, no. It's the NHL where they can't touch the trophy. Okay, I got you. But, yeah, they'll touch the trophy on Game 5.
Hey, Michigan Eddie, if you're trying to, we got to get our picks in because Jay's not going to be here tomorrow. So call me tomorrow, though. Call me tomorrow. I want to hear all about what you got, but we got to get our picks in because Jay's so hit or miss for us today, and I know he even missed. He even missed yesterday for your daughter, Kenley.
I did.
And
I did.
Good lesson.
Yes, it was good. Yeah, very good.
Excellent. Yeah. What about you, D. Hayes? What do you think happens tonight, Game 1? It's not officially part of our pick'ems.
It's not officially a part of our pickups?
I mean, I could have an 11th one, but we've always had 10, and that just makes my OCD go crazy.
Hey, we don't want that to affect us here. Give me Dallas in game 1.
See, I like it too. I think Kyrie goes into Boston, and I think Luka's just one of those guys that, he thrives more going into a road atmosphere where it's going to be intense. But regardless of who wins this series, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, or Luka Doncic is going to get their first NBA title. So,
there we go. But I think Dallas kind of upsets them, and then, the whole world's like, oh, look, Dallas could actually
kind of what happened with the Timberwolves against Dallas. Yep.
And then Boston will take care of business.
And then the rest is history, that's for sure. All right, we got to jump into our pick'ems, Jay Henley, and 8 of those pick'ems have to do with what?
The horse race.
Yeah, buddy, we're going to pick all 8 in order.
I'm not sure how that works. But,
I don't know.
What's going on still in college?
Baseball.
Thank you. We've got 8 super regionals, and we're going to pick, because the winner will be determined by Sunday if they go to that third and final game. So we will start with you, and we will start in the Knoxville regional. That is Tennessee versus Evansville.
Oh, you got to go Tennessee.
I don't know how you can't.
I know.
I would love, I'm not a Tennessee guy. I don't really not like him either, though. But, I'm a big fan of the upset when I don't have a lot of skin in the game. But when we're picking somebody to win, I just don't see how Tennessee does not win this series, especially at home in Knoxville. All right, next, you got the Lexington Regional. You got Kentucky versus the Beavers of Oregon State.
Oh, so tough. Kentucky's been so good in the SEC this year.
Kentucky has never been to a College World Series.
Oh, man. Kentucky's been so good. Oregon State's a perennial powerhouse. Give me Oregon State. Give me Oregon State. Go against the grain here.
I like it. I'm going absolutely against the grain. My uncle actually taught at Oregon State, and he used to talk a lot of trash about baseball when Coastal had their 1 year of some success, and my dad went to UCSB, so that's a good baseball school as well, but I got to go with the Beavers in this one as well. What about you, Jay?
Chomp.
The Beavers and the Cats. I mean, I'm just so torn. Yeah, let's go Beavs.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Let's go Beavers.
Yeah,
I like
So
this.
far, nothing is going to change in our pick.
That's why I like this, fellas. I like this.
This is not going the way. All right, next up, if you're looking for something to do this weekend with the fam, head on over to Tallahassee for the Tallahassee Regional. They're going to be starting on Friday, and then they'll be taking on the Yukon Huskies. Pick is to me, I've got Florida State and a future to win it, so I need to push them all the way through. I'm going to take the Noles in this one.
I will take the Noles as well.
Good.
No surprise here, baby. Let's go Tribe. Seminoles all the way. I already picked against them with Bama in their regional, so I got Florida State for sure in the super regional.
There you go.
Let's go Carson Dorsey.
Carson Dorsey. He'll be a lot of local pitchers over there at Florida State making some impact there in the baseball playoffs. All right, next up, Jay Henley. It is the Georgia Bulldogs hosting the NC State Wolfpack in the Athens Regional. The pick is back to you.
Let me hear you say it, Ryan. Come on. Say it. Go.
No.
Come on.
No. I'm picking NC State, so.
Okay, go Dogs.
All right, go Dogs. David Hayes?
Georgia as well.
All right, good. Here's where it all starts to go either downhill or uphill. All right, next you got the Charlottesville. Where's that? What university is in Charlottesville?
West Virginia? No.
That would be Morgantown. You're close, though. It's got one of the words in it.
Does it?
And it's
Charlotte?
It's not West.
Charlotte, North Carolina? Charlottesville?
We've missed you this week.
Yeah. I don't know where you're...
You said West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I said it's got one of those words in it.
Oh, East Virginia.
There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Virginia.
Yes, Virginia.
Yeah.
The Charlottesville Regional, that is the University of Virginia and the Kansas State Wildcats. David Hayes, it is to you for the first pick.
Who are we at on this one again?
It has the name in it. Virginia. Kansas State is
Virginia and Kansas State. Give me Virginia.
All right. I'm going to go with K-State. You know, I've got to do something before we get there. So David Hayes has got the Cavs. I'm going to go with the Wildcats of Kansas State.
The Jayhawks. Oh, no, Kansas Jayhawks. Never
Man,
mind.
all the Kansas fans here in Northwest Florida, which there's quite a bit of them, just got really mad at you.
Sorry.
Guess what's trending on Twitter right now? Pooping.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I just felt like bringing it up because Jay always finds a way to get us into
we didn't have a poll question today. Hey, you got one job between now and tomorrow. I need a poll question.
Let me add it to the to-do list.
There we go.
Yeah, just one poll question.
All right.
Preferably do it after you fall asleep.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow morning when you wake up, first thing comes to your mind, poll question, boom, send it to me.
I will.
We'll bring it on.
All
right, David Hayes, who you got, Virginia or Kansas State? Or did you already say Virginia?
Virginia.
Okay, Virginia.
East Virginia, country.
It's a new one. It's a new one. All right, next is the Clemson Regional up there in Northwest South Carolina. They are hosting what people called the bubble team, Florida Gators. It is, I believe it is to me now. I'm going to take Florida for the upset. I got to watch Clemson up and close in that regular regional with Coastal in it. I'm going to take Florida for the upset in this one. Cags make some stuff happen, and they move on to the College World Series, a familiar spot for them. What about you, Jay Henley?
I'll go with Gainesville Gators.
The Lizards?
Yep, the Lizards.
Yep, amphibians.
I'm going to go opposite of the Lizards here. Florida Gator fans should be happy about this because more than likely they'll end up winning the Super Regional, but I'll take Clemson and the Tigers here.
There you go. Go Tigers. The other Tigers, though.
Yeah.
All right, next you've got the Chapel Hill.
Transfer portal-less Tigers.
Transfer portal-less. There's only two other teams that didn't. I think it was, Navy and Army or Air Force or something like that. They're the only ones besides Clemson that didn't have a single transfer.
I can't imagine too many kids being like, well, I'm going to transfer to Air Force. And Air Force is like, no, well, we're not going to accept you.
Yeah, you got a commitment beyond football that you have to satisfy, so maybe you shouldn't transfer. Yeah, but Clemson's in that same boat, that's for sure.
So you can opt out of transfer portal if you want to. I did not know that. Is that what you're saying? Like,
I don't think it's opting out. I think you can either...
You can just use it or not use it.
I don't think that you could just easily transfer over to, like, Army, Navy, or Air Force. Because it's more than football.
Yeah, you got to commit to service.
Yeah. You got to go through, it makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, next up is going to be Chapel Hill Regional. That's UNC and the school you mentioned earlier, the Mountaineers, the West Virginia Cavaliers. It's back to you, Jay Henley. Who are you going with?
Let's go West Virginia.
Take me home.
Take me home.
West Virginia.
Wow. No baby blue. Is there?
You can't recant.
Okay, right now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just,
This is the first time you've deviated from your baby blue.
I'm taking the D. Hayes approach. So I'll pick West Virginia. UNC will win.
Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology.
So you're sacrificing the pick 'em for who you want to win.
I am.
Makes sense.
All right.
Sense.
Well, I'll go with the baby blue Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Same thing here. That is for sure. I'm going to go with North Carolina. I think they get that one done in the first two games. Last but not least is the College Station Regional. That's the Texas A&M Aggies bringing in those Ducks from Oregon. Quack, quack. David Hayes, you got first pick in this one.
I'll go with them Aggies of Texas A&M, brother. This could be a fun little super regional right here, though.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with the Ducks. I think we're going to have 2 Oregon teams in the College World Series this year. Quack, quack, quack. Go Ducks. That's the Mighty Ducks. But anyway, what do you got?
I will go with the Ducks as well. I'm going to be on the bandwagon.
Ducks and Beavers.
Yeah.
They both they aquatic and non-aquatic. All right.
What is? Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
There's a guy pooping on an escalator.
That is not good.
Hey, they're talking about in San Francisco. It's a brownout.
That happens every day, though.
Because that's what they're talking about. It better. Talking about people pooping on sidewalks and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. What a world we live in.
Nah, I'm telling you.
America. Used to be anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. All right, we got 2 more picks just for you guys because you love them so much. Obviously, the first one is our steady NASCAR pick, as Jay's done from the beginning. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and I've got Joey Logano. Is it a road course this week out there in Sonoma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got first pick here again, and I am going to I'm going to go out there a little bit. Road course guy. I'm going to go with A.J. Allmendinger.
Ooh.
Because everything else I've done has not worked, so.
I'll go.
It's not your turn.
Oh.
It's your turn.
Is it my turn? It's my turn?
Yeah.
All right, I want to go with, I'm sorry, I'm going to go with Kyle Larson.
Larson?
Yeah, that's a good. He's got a chip on his shoulder. They did approve the waiver for him, so he will be able to make the playoffs.
Oh, okay, because of the.
Yeah,
gotcha, the
because
travel.
you got to start every single race in order to, and since he didn't start the Coke 600, there was they had a whole waiver process, so that was approved for him. I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick.
Reddick.
All right,
let's go.
We are locked in. You like the road race out there, Jay? You a big fan?
I'm not a fan.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
Just drink some wine while you watch it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wine, NASCAR, it goes great together.
It does.
That's where isn't Sonoma like around?
Yeah, wine country. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sonoma County.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Jay? Tell everybody. We got like 30 seconds, so you're not going to be here tomorrow. You'll be here next Monday. I'm excited.
I will be. I'll be here next Monday. Another golf camp next week and the week after.
Yep, we know.
Man, a lot of sunshine.
Sunshine and whiskey.
Been wishing for some cloud cover a little bit, but it is what it is.
No rain, just cloud cover.
Yeah, no rain. Yeah. We don't need none of that wet stuff. But,
there you go. There you go. Well, you guys have been listening to The Inside Drive. Don't forget, Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 with your next chance to win. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, partly cloudy and likely thunderstorms and a temperature of 85 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. Possible thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 77. Mostly sunny and 87 tomorrow. 89 and sunshine with a light breeze Saturday. This is your Thursday.